Hello YouTube, thank you for tuning in to another installment of Financial Success. And today we're going to talk about how a strong middle class is actually one of the most, if not the most, beneficial things to the stock market.
What do you do?
Hello YouTube, thanks for tuning in to another installment of Financial Success. The reason why a middle class actually benefits more if we have a strong middle class, the guy in the middle here, than if we have a lot of poor and a lot of rich, is because the consumer base, or a lot of the products that help build the majority of the companies in the, say, the S&P 500. Now, a simple illustration would be if you took $1 million and you spread it out amongst 10 people. If you gave them each $100,000, which is a decent middle class income, household income, each of them, let's take Apple for example, the largest company. Each of them may be able to buy an iPhone, in a given year. But if you disperse it in such a way so that 900 in that million, 900 go to one person, and the other 9 would split roughly 10,000. Those 9 people are not going to be able to afford an iPhone, and the guy who's getting 900,000 doesn't need more than one iPhone. I mean, he's not. You can only use one at a time. So an even disbursement actually creates more economic activity and more consumer base and a bigger consumer base as a whole. Pretty much almost all major companies in the stock exchange are affected by consumer base and are sold to middle class people. If we just take a quick peek at some of the biggest companies, you have Apple. We already talked about Apple. You have a strong middle class, you're going to have more of their products being sold relative to a big poor class who can't afford it, or a big rich who is only going to buy what they need anyways. Next you have ExxonMobil. Now, if you think about it, a strong middle class is gonna result in more consumers that are gonna purchase. Not only are they gonna drive more, go on more vacations, maybe more so, it's gonna be a more purchase of items that are gonna need to be shipped. A lot of these items are unfortunately made in places like China or Pakistan, and they're flown over, which takes fuel, or they're transported on the road, which all those transportation costs results in purchasing more gas. So that's a big chunk of their business. Not to mention you have things, like family vacations and that type of thing. Next you have Microsoft. Again, these are the businesses that are going to profit from a strong consumer base. Okay, so somebody might say, okay, that's great for small or consumer electronic things around $100 to $1,000 even. What about expensive things like, let's take a car. So going back to that same example, you spread $1 million. So if somebody makes $900,000 a year, they maybe they'll buy a fun car and maybe another kind of car, I don't know, maybe a car to cruise around town in, and then their nice sports car they'll bring out on a hot summer day. But you're going to also have, going back to that same example, you have the 10 people, you have the one with 900,000, and you have the other 9 with making 10,000 a year. They're probably only going to be able to afford a bus pass. That's not going to help companies like Ford, like GM, even your Teslas. Forget about it for your Teslas. Whereas if you spread that out to, again, 100,000 for each of those 10 people, in the example I gave earlier, you're going to have 10 people who could probably, if they wanted to, purchase a new car or purchase, some type of car, and that's going to further benefit auto manufacturers and the industry as a whole. So, to summarize, companies profit from a wide, healthy middle class because you have a stronger consumer base, which is going to consume more products. So you can judge the stock market by how strong and how healthy the jobs report and how healthy the middle class is. This was thought-provoking. Go ahead and give me a like. If you disagree, I'd love to hear it. I'm always up for hearing ulterior points, and I'll need more information that way. So go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love to read it. Thanks for watching and tuning in to Financial Success.